the secret to Japanese longevity. The lifespan of a population is one of the clearest indicators of the effectiveness of its diet and lifestyle. Japan, and particularly the island of Okinawa, is world famous for being one of the blue zones, regions with the highest concentration of healthy, active centenarians on the planet. The key to this remarkable longevity lies in its culture and, primarily, its diet. Diet is the backbone of a body that resists the wear and tear of time. Traditional Japanese cuisine, known as washiku, goes far beyond sushi. It is a food system formally recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Washiku is characterized by meals that are intrinsically balanced, small in volume, feature a wide variety of ingredients and colors, extreme freshness, and an emphasis on the deep, satisfying flavor known as umami. The Japanese mindset regarding food is one of deep respect and moderation. There is the philosophical principle of eating light, prioritizing foods that promote mental clarity and energy, avoiding anything that requires prolonged digestion, causes sluggishness, or weighs down the stomach. This approach, which translates to a minimal consumption of certain food groups very popular in the West, is the great secret behind their metabolism and longevity. Japan, over centuries, has developed a diet that minimizes inflammation and optimizes metabolic health. We will now unveil the 5 categories of Western foods that the Japanese rarely consume, and the deep cultural and nutritional reasons that make this the diet of those who live longer and better. 2. Category 1. Processed red meats and heavy fried foods. The Japanese diet is built around light proteins. Historically, the consumption of red meat was almost non-existent, and Japan only integrated this food into its cuisine to a greater extent after World War II, under Western influence. Even today, per capita consumption remains significantly low compared to Western countries. Japan's primary protein is fish and seafood, followed by vegetables and tofu. This choice is directly linked to health. Fish, especially fatty varieties like salmon and mackerel, is an extremely rich source of omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, which are powerfully anti-inflammatory and cardiovascular protectors. In contrast, processed red meats such as sausages, bacon, salami, and cured meats are rare on the Japanese table. The problem with these meats lies in their manufacturing process. They are rich in nitrites and nitrates, which can convert into carcinogenic compounds, nitrosamines, in the body, in addition to having high sodium content, preservatives, and saturated fats. The aversion to these chemical additives is a pillar of the washiku philosophy, which values purity and freshness. Furthermore, the preparation method is crucial. The traditional Japanese preparation for proteins and vegetables is simmering, cooking slowly in broth, steaming, or quick grilling. Deep frying, although it exists, the famous tempura, is reserved for special occasions and festivals, and is not a daily eating habit as seen in many Western diets. Heavy fried foods are rejected for causing lethargy and overloading the liver, draining the energy needed for the day. Japan's low rate of heart disease is a direct testament to this choice of light proteins and gentle cooking methods. 3. Category 2. Excessive dairy and fatty cheeses. Dairy consumption in the Japanese diet is a relatively recent phenomenon and has never reached the same proportion as in the West. This is due to a combination of historical and biological factors. A large part of the Asian population, for genetic and cultural reasons, has some degree of lactose intolerance to sugar in milk. The historical absence of this food in the diet has led to low production of the lactase enzyme, which is necessary for its digestion. The traditional Japanese diet avoids excessive intake of milk and cheeses, especially the fattier types, which are viewed as heavy, oily, and too intensely flavored to complement the delicacy of the other dishes. Cheese is consumed, if at all, in tiny portions and as an occasional side dish, never as a meal pillar. For calcium needs, the Japanese have alternative and extremely effective sources. Calcium is abundantly found in small fish that are eaten whole, including their bones, in tofu, often coagulated with calcium sulfate, in dark green leafy vegetables, and notably in natto fermented soybeans, which is one of the richest sources of vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is crucial because it directs calcium to the bones, and not to the arteries, preventing arterial calcification, a strong marker of cardiovascular aging. The aversion to dairy also aligns with the pursuit of a low-inflammation diet. Casein and lactose can act as pro-inflammatory agents for genetically sensitive individuals. By avoiding these products, the Japanese diet eliminates a potential source of digestive and immunological stress, keeping the system cleaner and more balanced. 4. Category 3. Refined cereals and industrialized white breads. While carbohydrates are the foundation of the Japanese diet, the type and quality are fundamentally different from what is consumed in the West. Rice is the dominant cereal. Although Japanese white rice, which has a distinct, stickier starch, is widely consumed, it is always accompanied by protein, vegetables, and fiber, which buffers the overall glycemic impact of the meal. The great difference lies in the rejection of industrialized white bread and highly refined cereals. Fluffy, sugar-rich, and processed bread, like common Western sliced bread, is not seen as a staple food, but rather as a snack or often as a dessert. It is not part of the washiku structure of a balanced meal. The aversion is due to several factors. Many Western breads are laden with added sugars, refined oils, and preservatives to ensure a long shelf life. The high gluten content in modern wheat flour is also avoided. Rice is considered a cleaner base, easier to digest, and purer. The problem with consuming white bread and refined pasta daily is their rapid digestion rate. This leads to fast spikes in blood glucose, demanding an overload of insulin and resulting in short-term satiety. The Japanese diet, on the other hand, values low-glycemic, fiber-rich carbohydrates, such as brown rice, genmai, buckwheat noodles, soba, and sweet potato, satsumemo. Maintaining stable blood sugar levels is one of the most important anti-aging strategies, and refined white bread is a saboteur of this process. Category 4. Sodas, industrialized juices, and simple sugars. If there is one Western habit that the Japanese diet vehemently avoids, it is the consumption of liquid and excessive sugar. The main liquid consumed in Japan is water and, above all, green tea. The daily and consistent consumption of matcha and sencha is a pillar of Japanese health. Green tea is one of the world's richest antioxidant beverages, specifically containing catechins, which are potent fighters against oxidative stress and inflammation. Refined sugar is consumed in drastically smaller amounts compared to the West. The sweet flavor is reserved for traditional sweets, wagashi, which often use ingredients like azuki beans and are served in tiny portions, designed to be savored alongside tea. Sugar is expensive and rare, and not an abundant additive. Sodas and industrialized juices are fructose and glucose bombs. They are absorbed quickly, overloading the liver and triggering insulin production. The daily consumption of these beverages is one of the biggest contributors to insulin resistance, visceral obesity, and type 2 diabetes, diseases that accelerate systemic aging. Low sugar consumption is one of the keys to avoiding the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs. Glycation is the process where excess sugar in the blood binds to the body's proteins, making collagen and elastin fibers rigid and brittle. This is what causes wrinkles and artery stiffening, effectively accelerating visible and cardiovascular aging. Furthermore, the Okinawan principle of eating until one is 80% full, hara hachibu, is a guide to moderation. The consumption of sugary liquids undermines this philosophy, as it adds empty calories without conferring the necessary satiety to honor the principle of moderation. 6. Category 5. Refined vegetable oils rich in omega-6. The traditional Japanese diet is generally low in total fat, but the fat that is present is of very high quality. The problem that the Japanese avoid is highly processed seed vegetable oils rich in omega-6 fatty acids, such as soybean, corn, and sunflower oils, which are staples of industrialized Western cuisine. The disproportionate consumption of these oils is an inflammatory accelerator. The body needs both omega-6 and omega-3, but the ratio is crucial. Our ancestors consumed them at a 1-to-1 ratio, whereas the current Western diet has a ratio of 15-to-1 or even 20-to-1 in favor of omega-6. This imbalance is pro-inflammatory and linked to chronic age-related diseases. In Japanese cuisine, oils are used with extreme moderation, and the choice is refined. Preference is given to sesame oil, used more for flavor than for cooking, rice oil with a high smoke point, and more recently extra virgin olive oil, a recent but well-accepted Western influence. The minimalism in the kitchen does not use fat to mask the flavor, but rather to complement it. The focus is on enhancing the natural purity and flavor of the ingredients. This caution with fat and the preference for omega-3 sources, fish, and more stable oils significantly contribute to the low inflammation and robust cardiovascular health of the Japanese. 7. Conclusion. Lessons from the Japanese diet for the West. The Japanese diet is not just a set of dietary rules. It is a coherent system of longevity. The central lesson that Japan offers us is that lasting satisfaction lies in the quality and umami flavor of food, not in quantity or the density of sugar and processed fat. In addition to avoiding the 5 major Western aging accelerators, The Japanese incorporate a vital source of probiotics daily through fermented foods like miso, soy paste, natto, fermented beans, and tsukmino, Japanese pickles. Gut health, or the health of our second brain, is a critical factor for immunity, mood, and longevity. In summary, the 5 Western pillars that the Japanese systematically avoid, contributing to a cleaner, less inflamed, and longer-living body, are processed meats and heavy fried foods, excessive dairy, refined cereals and white bread, simple sugars and sodas, inflammatory vegetable oils, rich in omega-6. The path to a longer, healthier life is not found in a fad diet, but rather in adopting a Washika mindset: small volume, fresh, balanced, and minimally processed. By eliminating the ingredients that demonstrably inflame and accelerate, where we make room for the vitality and longevity that our bodies are capable of sustaining. Adopt the philosophy of eating light and living long.